Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing Project Hail Mary. The movie just came out. I went to see it, absolutely loved it. I will say this review really won't include any major spoilers, but there might be some minor spoilers, so if you want to go into the movie completely spoiler-free, maybe check this review out after you see the movie. But if you're not worried about very minor spoilers, I would say you're probably okay watching this review. I'll also say Project Hail Mary is one of my favorite books of recent years. Honestly, since it came out, it's probably one of my 2 or 3 favorite books in that period. Absolutely love it. I have done a review for the book on my channel before, so I'm not really going to get into talking a lot about the book. But at the end of the video, I'll put a link up somewhere up here of my book review of Project Hail Mary, so I'd encourage you to check that out as well. But with that out of the way, let's get to talking about Project Hail Mary, the movie. So overall, I really loved Project Hail Mary, the movie. Great. I think it was an amazing job of adapting the book, which, like I said, is one of my favorite books in recent years. I absolutely love it. And I would say if you enjoy the book, I think you're going to enjoy this movie as well. It's a very faithful adaptation. Now, obviously, they weren't able to include everything because Project Hail Mary is a very big book. If you included everything, this would probably be a 3 to 4 hour movie. It's already a very long movie, but they had to cut some stuff out. But basically, a lot of the stuff they kind of glossed over is maybe some of the more very detailed science stuff. So instead of having, 20, 30 pages talking about how they're trying to solve a specific scientific problem related to the crisis in the story, that might get solved in like 1 to 2 scenes and very quickly. And some problems they just kind of gloss over and don't even really mention. They kind of skip some of those more minor problems in the book. I think probably the biggest thing a lot of fans of the book will immediately notice when the movie starts is they dramatically speed up Grace regaining his memory. When the book first starts, it actually takes him a while to really learn all stuff, and the ship AI to basically let him out of the medical room until he has enough memory to be able to successfully explore the rest of the ship. Movie, he still is missing a lot of memory. He's able to function a lot quicker in the movie, but again, that's speeding up because I think if you went straight adaptation from the book to the movie, that entire opening segment would probably have taken 15-20 minutes, and I think would have honestly lost a lot of people. I think that's one of those things that probably works better in a book, but wouldn't necessarily translate as well to the movie. But other than those minor things, this is very faithful from book to movie. All the major stuff is here, all the major characters are here. I had faith that was going to happen because this is the same team that adapted The Martian. So I had faith that, The Martian was a great adaptation, Project Hail Mary would be a great adaptation. It is very much true. I think this is a very much good team that they understand how to adapt Andy Weir's works and make it work in the movie. I think this movie really hinges on Ryan Gosling because 80% of the movie, he is the person on the screen that has to sell it. Much like The Martian or a movie like Castaway, where one actor is the only person in the bulk of it. If you cast the wrong person for it, this doesn't work. And Ryan Gosling nails it. And honestly, when they announced this casting, I had complete faith in it because Ryan Gosling is one of my favorite actors. I think he can pull off a variety of stuff. He can do comedic funny, like The Nice Guys is one of my favorite funny movies of all time. But that movie also has these serious moments in it. And obviously, if you've seen movies like Drive, Gosling can also nail those really serious moments as well. He can kind of hit all those notes. And I think in this movie you see that. There's a lot of funny moments that really makes you connect to this character very quickly. But also the moments where he needs to convey the emotion, the seriousness, the stakes that's going along with this mission. He pulls that off amazing. I think the other part of the movie that they really nailed well was the creature, Rocky. And again, this is not a spoiler because this was mentioned in the trailer, but the creature, the alien that Ryan Gosling's character meets during the course of his mission, they really nailed the effects of this character. Again, one of the things, if they botch this, would it work? If they botched the voice acting for this character, would it work? They actually nailed it. I have 0 complaints about Rocky. I think if anything, I think that's probably the thing in the movie, 100%. They nailed everything. There wasn't any small little thing I would change on it. I think explaining the overall crisis of this scenario and how they're trying to solve it, I think was really well done. Again, the book really delves into a lot of science, this movie kind of gives you the basic science where you can kind of understand what's going on, but I think not so much like people in the audience are like, I'm getting confused, what's going on, I'm not sure what's happening. They did an excellent job of explaining that there's these little microbial creatures in space that for some reason have started feeding on our sun and are starting to lessen the output of the sun. And if this continues, basically all life on Earth will go extinct. But they had figured out the stars in our general area are all being impacted except one. And why is this one star not being impacted? Maybe there's some sort of solution there. So all the Earth gets together to basically get this mission to space to go to the sun and see what's going on there, and if there's something they can figure out to basically save our sun. And they explained that very well. That's one thing going in the movie, I was a little worried. I was like, are they going to get too lost in the science and maybe lose more casual moviegoers who are just not like, I don't want, what's all this science talk? I'm completely lost. Or were they going to simplify the situation so much that it didn't really feel like the same scenario that was set up in the book? And I think they walked that tightrope really well of having the same situation, but making it accessible to everyone where you wouldn't feel completely lost. I can honestly see like somebody going to this movie with their kid, like 9, 10, 11 years old, something like that range, and not being lost by the science in this movie, which is great. Because I think this is going to be a movie that's going to be very popular with kids, probably because how funny Ryan Gosling is, but also because of the character Rocky. I'll say the character probably in the movie that I enjoyed even more than the book was Sandra Huller's character. In the book, she's very one note and she's very much on the mission, and you never really see much emotion from her. She's almost like a machine, like I have to solve this, I have to solve this. The fate of humanity rests on me. And it works in the book, and that's for the bulk the same character you get in the movie, but you get little glimpses of her humanity in this movie I don't think you really get in the book. And especially there's an amazing karaoke scene as a part of the movie that you really see what she's dealing with, and she lets that emotion come through for a little bit and basically almost becomes more human versus machine. And then after she wraps up her performance, she quickly switches back and like, all right, now I need to turn that side of my personality off and really focus on solving this issue again, because it's all resting on me. Her interaction and relationship with Ryan Gosling in this movie is great. Again, I think that's a part of the movie I actually think they did a lot better than the book. So kudos to that. I think one thing I missed from the book to the movie was a lot of the secondary characters involved in the mission. You just don't get as much with those. The little bits you get with them in the movie, I really enjoyed a lot. I would have loved seeing more, but the movie's so long, I'm not sure where they would have fit in that without making it too long. So I understand why they did it, but that's probably one thing I missed a lot from the book to the movie. Now, if I had to complain about anything in the movie, as a major complaint, and it's not really a major complaint, but I guess more minor complaint, is this is so long. It's well over 2.5 hours. And of course, when you go to the movies, you're doing trailers, all that type of stuff. So you're in the theater for over 3 hours when you're going to see Project Hail Mary. Now, I'll say to the movie's credit, when you're watching it, it doesn't quite feel that long. But there's a couple points throughout the movie where it drags a little bit. So, I think I would have cut like 30 minutes off. I don't think it's like, it had to be a 2-hour movie. But I think there's probably 5 or 10 minutes they could have lost at a few points, and maybe the movie would have flowed even better. A couple points where they were just dwelling with a situation for very long, maybe trying to solve a problem. They spend, 5 minutes on trying to solve the problem. I think maybe could have done it in like 3 minutes. I think if you did like, a minute here, a minute there, they could have got 5 or 10 minutes off this movie, and it would have flowed a little bit better and not been quite as long. Because I think some people are going to get scared off by the runtime. I think the movie's going to do great, don't get me wrong, in the box office. But I can see some people going like, that's a long time. I might wait till I can see it at home. I think it will also impact some people going to see it twice. I'm one of those people that like when I really love a movie, especially when it has some great effects, I want to see it on the movie screen as much as possible because I know it'll never look as good at home as it does on a movie theater screen. Project Hail Mary is so long. I'm not sure if I'll go see it again because I'll have to, I'll work with my work schedule and everything else going on in my life. I'm just like, do I have time to go see, Project Hail Mary today? I don't know if I do or not. Where if it was, a little bit shorter, I probably definitely would go see it again. I wouldn't mind going see it again. I just don't know if I'll fit it into my schedule. The last thing I'll mention on the movie, the special effects in this movie are amazing. It is absolutely beautiful. There are several moments in throughout the movie with how they're depicting space or other planets or another star that's like, wow, that's beautiful, and I've never quite seen something depicted that way in a movie before. Very much, they did a great job of making it unique, but also making it feel realistic. Like, like, oh, this actually seems like something you would actually see in space, or something that's not so far-fetched. It's like, oh, this is not really something that seems scientifically possible, or something like that. They walked that tightrope really well and made it beautiful, but also feel realistic. So overall, I absolutely love Project Hail Mary. I think it'll definitely probably be one of my 3 to 5 favorite movies of the year. Don't know where it will end up, because obviously very early in the year, and there's a lot of movies I'm very excited about, obviously like Mandalorian Grogu, Dune 3, the new Spider-Man, the new Steven Spielberg movie. There's a lot of very cool movies coming out this year, but I'm very confident that Project Hail Mary will end up being one of my favorite movies of the year. And like I said, if you love the book, I think you'll love this movie. So I would highly recommend go check Project Hail Mary out. Support great local movies. Go see it in theater. Don't wait till it comes to your TV, because like a lot of people complain about, like, oh, we don't really get great movies. The way to get great movies is when you hear a movie's great, go see it in the theater, because the studios will pay attention to that stuff. Like, oh, this is doing really great. Maybe we need to do more stuff like Project Hail Mary. So please go to see the theater. If your schedule allows, go see it multiple times. Help it really do well, and spread the word about this amazing movie. So let me know in the comment section below if you've seen the movie. What was your favorite parts? How did you like it? Again, try to keep it somewhat spoiler-free, so in case somebody hasn't seen the movie yet, they don't get completely spoiled about your comments. But let me know what you thought. If you enjoyed my review, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time. And go see Project Hail Mary in the movie theaters.